welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, January 5th, 2015. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. There is more work to be done in ensuring that non-compliant employers pay up their employees' NIS contributions. That's the view shared by Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as he spoke at the annual Customer Appreciation Day ceremony hosted by the National Insurance Services NIS earlier today at its NIS headquarters. Highlighting current matters within the organization which had to be addressed, the Prime Minister noted that there has to be serious action taken against employers who tend to withdraw employee contributions from their salaries and fail to pay the contributions to the NIS. He outlined that the power exists to put such offenders before the court.
To file those charges on their property, especially so those who come here, I want to do the thing and leave. When you talk to them, they will come in and make arrangements. Or if you put a charge on the property, they'll say, okay, I see serious business. They will come and make arrangements. But there are some. You could talk till you're blue in your face. You could put as much charge as you want on their property. Well, you'll have to do something else. And I'm talking with the NIS about other things which we can do in conjunction with the banks. Don't know whether we can do certain things further legislatively. Government can't owe NIS because it is the government who has to put it in the case of anybody who owe NIS. That's how the law is written. And that is why I'm saying it publicly.
The Prime Minister also spoke of his intention to sort out the relationship between the central government pension and the NIS pension before he leaves office, which he reiterated would be before 2020.
Because the single fastest growing item of expenditure for the central government is retirement benefits. It's now, annually it's about $60 million. And it will grow. We can make reforms and put it in a way without disadvantaging people, particularly those who are already in the system, by working out something and merging with the NIS and so on, and the government put this and so on. There are formulae which we can use, and we are thinking about it. And I'm hopeful that sometime in this year that I'll be able to make some concrete announcements on that.
Pointing out that the age group of 60 and over to be the fastest growing segment of the population, as it has increased by nearly 30% according to the 2012 census, Prime Minister Gonsalves made a stern appeal to all self-employed individuals, including lawyers and doctors, to be careful about how they invest their money and to become members of the NIS.
Will come to me and say they work all these years and they ain't getting no money for NIS. I say, put any in it. They say they didn't know they had to put. Well, I am telling you now, yet again, you have to put. And what you put in, you will get many times more than what you put in. Because what we have here is a big kind of susuhan. So I'm urging the taxi drivers, the minibus drivers, the people who work in as construction workers going from job to job, please, for heaven's sake, register.
With some 13,000 persons benefiting from the services of the National Insurance Services, the institution today celebrated 30 years of servitude with its annual Customers Appreciation Day. Nikita Tony has more in this report.
Since its inception in 1987, the National Insurance Services (NIS) has been providing social security benefits to all Vincentians. Under the theme "This is who we are," the organization held its Customer Appreciation Day activities at its headquarters, where beneficiaries and pensioners alike were invited to take part in various activities. In his welcoming remarks, Director of the NIS, Reginald Thomas, outlined that the NIS, which replaced the National Providence Fund, has since then expanded the social security framework and system in SVG.
Greater pleasure than to see our pensioners, our initial contributors to the safety net and the social protection system in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You believe that expanding the system from a Provident Fund framework to a social security platform which expanded benefit, but more so which will provide a pension, which will provide employment injury, which will then provide survivors benefit. This is who we are.
Highlighting some of the major accomplishments of the NIS, Thomas said the organization, which started with some 278 beneficiaries, has grown significantly over the years.
You will be pleased to know that your National Insurance Institution now has beneficiaries of 13,373. That represents a growth of 4,710%, or 48 times that which we had in 1987. We are an institution that will continue to look up for you and to look to you, our stakeholders, and to provide a quality of life for you, our pensioners.
Making mention of the 30th anniversary celebrations theme, financially sound and customer friendly, as the NIS turns 30, Chairman of the NIS Board of Directors, Lennox Bowman, noted that this year's Customer Appreciation Day aims to include and appreciate all categories of customers.
The NIS has also organized occupational safety and health exercises to assist employers and employees in upgrading their health and safety policies and to make preventative measures for their well-being. We have already undertaken 2 customer surveys on how best we can improve our processes and better satisfy our customers' needs. We are cognizant of the need for greater public information dissemination on making claims so that there would be less rejected claims and that claims processing would also be improved. So we have an education ongoing process that we're going to step up even further this year.
The management and staff of the NIS continues to urge the general public to take advantage of the services offered by the organization, as they remain committed to providing quality social security benefits to all Vincentians.
We wish you all the best as you continue to serve SVG just because you can. Happy anniversary, NIS.
Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Highlighting that there are still minor pieces of work to be done as opening date for the Argyle International Airport draws near, Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Tourism Authority, Glen Beach, while speaking on a local radio program on Wednesday, outlined that work on the site, which is some 97% complete, will continue even after the airport becomes operational. Outlining some of the activities being put in place for opening date, Beach assured the general public that although they are still in the planning process, his department is working alongside the relevant authorities to bring Vincentians up to date with all matters concerning the much-awaited opening of the AIA.
Hangar has to be completed. At least one hangar has to be completed, right? I think you have some small things like one of the security checking machines to come in and so on.
These need to be here before
They have
the
to,
14th.
Yeah. Argyle International Airport will be insured for operation.
You have to have it.
You have to have liability insurance and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Even by next week, we'll have everything in place to be able to come to the people and say, this is what it's going to cost. This is how much it's costing us to charter this flight. This is how much each ticket costs. I'll be above board. As I said, I don't want to make a profit off of this thing, but I do want to recoup what I'm putting out there. Right? I know it's a big deal for a lot of people to fly directly into St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and that is the main aim. I am convinced, Bing, that once I announce these details, that within an hour, every single plane will be filled.
He also gave insight into ticket sales for the chartered flight scheduled to land at the AIA on opening day, February 14th, 2017.
Right. Sunwing will not be selling the tickets. We're dealing with a tour operator now. That's who we're working out the costing with. Now that's going to take some time because you have to deal with Argyle International. Are you going to waive any of the taxes? Are you going to waive the departure tax? Which is no, you can't waive the departure tax because the departure tax goes to IATA.
Right.
Are you going to waive the landing fee? So all those things have to be worked out. So we're speaking to AIA presently. There'll be tour operators out of Canada, one tour operator who will be selling the tickets. They've been with us for a while, worked with us for a while. Sunwing knows them well also. We're working out with Cal if Cal is going to sell it for us or if we have to use a separate tour operator to sell that. If Newmont comes out of England with them, their travel agent and tour operator, I'm sure they're going to sell it themselves.
Beach reiterated the need for the general public to keep in mind that as of the morning of Tuesday, February 14th, 2017, the AIA will become fully operational, which means that flights to the E.T. Joshua Airport will cease. He added that the respective airlines are being urged to communicate the relevant information to their valued customers.
We will be operational on the 14th.
Come morning.
So I think one of the things we need to make sure and put out there won't be a tour of the terminal building. You won't be able to go onto the apron because you have all the security. We will be fully operational on the 14th. Working very closely with them right now to make sure that that gets out, that once after 14th and after, it is from Argyle International Airport.
And right.
They will, as you said, they have the emails and so on, but not only emails, calls, and everything.
A check of $200,000 US was handed over to Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves by Taiwan's Ambassador Baishuan Ger on the 28th of December 2016 to assist with the second phase of the rehabilitation project of the Majorca Feeder Road in Marikwa and the Java Road and River Defense in South Rivers, scheduled to start this year. The government and people of the Republic of China and Taiwan had contributed $600,000 US in July of 2014 for the first phase of the rehabilitation project. The roads and river defenses in these areas were severely damaged during the April 2011 and December 2013 floods. Upon receipt of the new funds, Prime Minister Gonsalves expressed his appreciation to the government and people of Taiwan for their continued support extended to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in various fields, including the field of infrastructure. The preliminary inquiry into the death of real estate agent Charlene Graves continued today in the Serious Offences Court. As we hear in this report, the focus was on the identification of a remote vehicular key belonging to Graves, among other matters. SVG-TV's Sharon Garraway was there and tells us more.
A remote vehicular key found hanging on a nail behind the 10x8 wooden bedroom door occupied by the accused Veron Primus of Vermont was the focus of Day 2 of the preliminary inquiry into the death of real estate agent Charlene Graves today, 5th of January 2017, at the Serious Offences Court. Inspector Walter Brown of the Criminal Investigation Department, CID, testified that a search warrant was obtained to enter the two-story dwelling house of which Primus was the occupant on the ground floor. The search resulted with the finding of the vehicular key matching that of P5672, a Suzuki Escudo belonging to Charlene Graves of Enhams, who was found dead with several stab wounds about her body on the morning of November 13, 2015, at the place of her business, Bijou Real Estate at Arnisvale. Inspector Brown recounted that Primus was present when a warrant was presented to him to search his premises. But Primus, in his cross-examination, questioned if he was shown the said warrant and if photos were taken of the key found on his premises. Inspector Brown affirmed that the warrant was legitimate and it was shown to Primus. The accused insinuated that the key may not have been there before the search, and he said it was, quote-unquote, allegedly found, as photos were not taken of the exhibit hanging behind his bedroom door. However, Inspector Brown counteracted and indicated that several officers as well as Primus was alerted to the finding, and as such, the key was tagged and bagged. He also explained that during a police search, photos are not necessarily taken. Primus questioned where in the law books of this country this was found, and senior prosecutor Adolphus Delplesh chided that since he was his own lawyer, he should know such information. Delplesh, however, read Section 35 of the Criminal Code to Primus, which alluded to this question. Primus then inquired why only the key was in possession of the police and not the vehicle, which was found with all doors locked sometime after the murder of Graves on Wilson Hill. Inspector Brown indicated that the vehicle, after being processed by the police, was returned to the financial agency, the Government Employees Cooperative Credit Union, GECU, to which Graves had taken a loan to acquire the vehicle. He noted that the key and not the vehicle was found on the accused premises. Primus also tried to outline that he was held for a considerable amount of time than the 48-hour period stipulated by the police. He questioned why he was taken up for a second time by officers. But senior prosecutor Adolphus Delplesh outlined that he was taken up on a matter related to another case and warned him that this could further incriminate him and even contaminate the present preliminary inquiry. This was also reinforced by Magistrate Rayshon Brown, who cautioned Primus that his line of questioning could affect the PI. She then advised him to stick to the questioning related to the death of Graves. During his cross-examination, Primus raised the issue of if the key did in fact belong to the Jeep and questioned which door it opened. Inspector Brown recounted that the key opened the right front door and was able to start the ignition. The witness who testified yesterday and who was an employee at the Bijou Real Estate was also brought back to court, and she testified that as a regular user of the motor vehicle, the remote key did belong to Graves. PC Marvin Westfield was also brought into court to endorse what Inspector Brown had testified, as he was one of 7 investigators on the scene. Graves's mother, Anita Holder, took to the witness stand today, where she mainly confirmed that she was the mother of Graves and that she did not know the accused. Primus had no questions for the mother of the deceased. Day 3 into the preliminary inquiry into the death of real estate agent Charlene Graves will continue tomorrow from 9 a.m. at the Serious Offences Court. Sharon Garraway reporting for SVG Television News.
A Vincentian died tragically in a vehicle accident in Linden, Guyana on Wednesday night. 22-year-old Laron Mendonca, whose family lives in the Arnisville area, was one of 4 persons who died as a result of the accident, which occurred sometime around 7 p.m. on Wednesday on a major highway in Guyana. His distraught mother, Randell Richards, explained that her son was visiting Guyana for the first time after migrating to St. Vincent as a toddler and was staying with his uncle, whom she said was at the time driving the vehicle, which collided with another on Wednesday night.
My uncle died on the spot, along with 2 others, and my son Laron died at the hospital in the theater. They say he had a broken foot. His hip was dislocated and he was bleeding inside because like he had a puncture in his back. But he was conscious. First he was unconscious and then they say he get conscious, but like he was going and coming.
And what time did you receive the news?
I received the news when I come from work. I leave work mostly about around 6:30. I guess it's about after 7 minutes to 8 when my auntie called, and my auntie asked me if I hear that my uncle name is Dave, if I hear that he reached an accident. So I said no. So from the time I hear that, I said I know Laron by him, and I was saying I hope Laron was in the car at the same time. So I started crying and I started try getting phone calls. Was try calling Laron's phone. I couldn't get his phone. When I do get to his phone, a nurse answered the phone.
Richards said she shared a close bond with her son and that he will be missed very much.
I spoke with Laron yesterday morning because he called every morning and every night. Because he would talk to me and he would talk to his girlfriends. He called every morning and every night.
And if you don't mind me asking, what sort of relationship you guys had?
We had a real close relationship. He was my best friend. He was everything because he knows to discuss everything with me. If I had a problem, I would talk to him. He give me good advice. He's a child, but he gave good advice. We was real close because it's only in November the 17th I lost my boyfriend. So Ali was over in Guyana. He was calling and make sure that I'm okay and telling me to take it light.
Other family members took the opportunity to express their grief and sadness over their loss.
He will tell me, he said, man, since I come to Guyana, I got a lot of ideas because like he sell chicken and fried chicken and sell and stuff. So he said, he tell me what plan. He said, I'm going to buy a truck and it's going to cost so much money and you're going to build on top and you're going to sell chicken and stuff like that. So we was talking and I said, boy, I wish I was in a position to help you, give you a start or whatever. But once you have a dream and you work with it, you know, your dream must come true. So like stuff like that, we will keep talking, you know, and because he was a first grandchild, first nephew, so in our home. So I was the eldest. So for me, he was like my son. I will buy toys for him because I didn't have no kids at the time. So everything I will do for him. So we grew up kind of good and, you know, loving and stuff like that. And it's really sad to lose the uncle because the uncle, and we grew up like brothers too because he's the youngest uncle. So we always play together. If I go Guyana, he will pick me by the airport, take me around, you know, do everything. And then to lose a nephew that's so close, that's double blow.
I spoke with Lauren yesterday morning before I went out to work. You know, we always speak, you know, every day, in the night, in the morning. And the last thing I said to him, I said, babes, I'm going off to work now, you know, I love you. And he just told me I love you even more. But didn't even know that was the last time, you know, I would have heard, you know, Lauren's voice. Me and Lauren, we were very close. We met in college, and from ever since, if you see Lauren, you see me. So we were very close, like friends. We will, you know, talk anything. So when I heard the news, you know, it hit me real hard because, you know, I wasn't expecting. I used to always tell him, hurry up, come home, I'm waiting for you.
And when did you last speak with him?
Yesterday.
What was that conversation like?
He was speaking to me about some gifts he got me from my birthday and for the New Year.
How did you feel when you heard the news?
I couldn't believe it. It was very sad.
Reports indicate that the Guyana Fire Service was summoned following the accident and firefighters had to cut the mangled vehicles open to free the bodies. Augustus Glasgow, a resident of Gregg's who was 3 months ago charged with causing grievous bodily harm on Ralph Garrick of the same address, is now facing a more serious charge of murder. Garrick, who is said to have sustained injuries to his head during a fracas with Glasgow, succumbed to the head injuries at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital on December 28, 2016. Glasgow was on Wednesday escorted to the Serious Offences Court before Chief Magistrate Rayshan Brown. He was not allowed to plead to the indictable offense. March 22nd is the date set for the start of the preliminary inquiry. Police Constables 198 Chilson Scott and 130 Carolyn May have been awarded the coveted titles of Policeman and Policewoman of the Year, respectively, by the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force in conjunction with the Police Welfare Association. Scott said at the recent police awards ceremony that he was grateful for being recognized for the service he renders on behalf of the RSVG-PF. According to a media release, May was unable to attend the ceremony held at Russell's Auditorium due to unforeseen circumstances. Leading seaman Marlon Simon also came in for high praises when he was awarded the coveted title of Coast Guard Officer of the Year. A number of other awards were also handed out at the ceremony.